check the broadcast. Thanks for calling. I'm at my day job. Thanks for tuning in to Threats from Mirkwood, the company of the Whiskey Drinking Bear. I am your lore master, Garrett. And for those of you who have not been following the One Ring lately, we are now in a new era of One Ring, where Sophisticated Games, led by Francisco Nepotillo, has taken the One Ring away from Cubicle 7 and to Free League Game, which is the company that does Tales from the Loop and Alien.
You make it sound like they stole it.
They didn't steal it. Cubicle 7 let it go, and Sophisticated Games took it to Free League Publishing. There was a dispute about the direction they wanted the game to go in, from what I've read. So we're going to see what happens with this. As Francisco has said, they haven't done any big announcements or anything because they're starting from the square one where they can't use any of the logos or anything from the Cubicle 7 era, and have to start from the ground up. And they want to shout everything to all the fans to let them know that there's more One Ring coming.
Yay!
And they do know that the fans want more. That Francisco saw that. All right. So, who would like to recap this session?
I can hop. So we, in the last session, we reached the Kingdom of Thranduil as we were trying to evade a undying wolf, and we were greeted by the king, and he accepted the audience of Elebrimborn, who presented him with a host of treasure. But the king was more enthralled with a broken lamp that we had found, and he was disappointed that it did not have its magic, and felt pretty much assured that we would not be able to restore it to its strength. But we decided to take a fellowship during that time, and I believe Lorith spent a good bit of time with one of the elves, Lelorian, who taught her how to navigate with her new boating skills and gave her knowledge about the marshlands.
Yes.
And developed tactics to help us defeat the marsh dwellers, or hopefully in the future. And while that was going on, Elebrimborn searched for answers around the lamp. He was able to find Arvald, who had knowledge of the twin lamps of En Blanc, and was able to discover that the necromancer there in Dol Guldur had used it to basically terrorize the wolf and made it fear the light of day and lights in general, and this was now basically brought back from one of the nine, who has now returned to Dol Guldur. And so we're thinking about going back and seeing if we could find the sister lamp, which is still in Dol Guldur, but instead we came up with another way to use a lamp. And I'll continue with our fellowship phase, where Grimbald, who managed to travel onward to the border areas and spent time guarding the border crossings while he gained new knowledge of bandits in the area, and was able to identify a noble who's claiming that he lost his title there and is seeking revenge against the king of Rohan. And he protected those borders, and obviously hopefully elevated some of his status there in the region. And I obviously took time to travel back to Erebor, and I had asked Legolas to join me on the journey. And while we journeyed back, we spoke about the werewolf and how it came to be, and felt that the marshlands would be a good place to drive the wolf. In that, in order to truly kill the wolf, we had to be at least a mile away from other wolves. Otherwise, the soul of the wolf would travel and enter into another wolf if it was slain. So I arrived in Erebor, spent time with my family, and started working on second round, and spent time with the nobles and King Dane, trying to facilitate good relations, and invited Legolas to many of those, and had the opportunity to talk to Legolas about being a matchmaker for Celebrimbor, which so far has worked out pretty well. Legolas had to look back many of the past stories of Celebrimbor, so and learn new stories such as this Pinky Squirrel incident. So
Yeah.
he took all that in and still managed to elevate or help elevate Celebrimbor's status at Thranduil's court when we returned. So having done that, on the return, Celebrimbor actually was now being offered courtship with I think a new person. What was her name again? Celebrimbor?
Serenay.
Serenay. So yes, so he's well on his way to establishing a rock solid relationship. He was able to endure the month-long activities, and A, didn't get tied up, and B, did not make a fool of himself on the dance floor. So making great progress there.
Yes.
And then once we all returned, we basically mapped out a plan to anger the wolf and have it us into the marshlands. Legolas helped to get the wolf directed over towards us, and we were able to use Laura's boating skills to navigate the marshlands, and we found a great little area to set up an attack. And just as soon as our trap had been laid, marsh dwellers appeared and kind of threw everything into chaos. And we were fortunately able to maintain our focus on the werewolf. At the same time, we battled for a lengthy period of time against the marsh dwellers and were able to defeat them. And fortunately, I can't remember who gave the final blow to the wolf. Was that you, Celebrimbor, or was that Brimble?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know we had a couple of really good swings there, and ended up Celebrimbor fell through the bridge, I think, unfortunately, and we were still able to defeat the wolf, and it was not able to find another host, and was slain. So we then, I believe, searched for the marsh dweller's treasure, and went down below the waters near the island that we were battling, and actually came across a Balrog, if I'm not mistaken, and ended up getting another Balrog. And it's like, man, we're twice over Gandalf at this point. So
Yeah, I think Celebrimbor died. I think Celebrimbor's died more times from Balrogs than Gandalf has, really, if we want to be serious.
So fortunately, we were able to defeat the Balrog and defeat other marsh dwellers, and were able to find new treasure, and we were able to bring it back to Thranduil's, and recover before heading back out on the road. And let's see, what else happened? I think we ended up traveling after that to the funeral of Legolavin, and we managed to meet up with Galvira and her children, and found that they had all been growing up and were teenagers now, and said our farewells to Legolavin, and then we traveled back towards Rohan. And I think that's where our journey ended for the last time.
Did you get and you got to the old woman who sings to the river?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we came across the old woman who was singing along the riverside, and I think she was giving us a hint that maybe Lorith had to marry Grimbald, or or possibly someone from the east marrying someone from the west. So we kind of jumped to the conclusion that it was Grimbald and Lorith.
Yeah, maybe we'll give him a tryout first and see. But
and then, of course, Grimbald disappeared, so we're not sure where he's at now.
Yeah.
No doubt on a secret mission for the king.
Yes, or maybe he's trying to find something in order to pay your father, Lorith. Little dowry action here. Works differently in Rohan. All right. I think that was it.
That was it. Let me see if I can find the picture.
Yeah, that was good.
That was very good.
I wrote that all up after we played, so
I
it
missed
was
the whole
cold
part about
pressure
where
on
we
the night.
killed the wolf and fought the marsh dwellers, but they had to feed the king.
That was a big adventure last week, or last. Yeah, there was a lot going on there.
Yes,
So,
it was.
Yeah. And I was pleased that Ella Brimborn has made a connection now, so it's well on his way. Can't forget about the woman from the north.
Thank God.
So, if you get to the foot of the Great Stairs, this is the portage area that leads along the sides of the Falls of Roros, so that you can not have to go over the falls to get your boats down. And you, at the foot of there, looks like there are about 30 woodsmen camping next to their boats. And they are loudly discussing whether they should turn back and go to the Toft. Make a TN14 lore roll for me, everybody.
Can you move my dice closer to me so I can do that? Because I can't without dropping the cat.
Oh, I only have a 13.
I got a 16.
19.
Okay. Ella Brimborn and Lorith, you know that the Toft is Woderlin's southernmost town, not far from Dol Guldur, protected by a palisade and fort. Old Vigelim runs the town with his 2 sons. When Dol Guldur was occupied by the Necromancer, it was rumored to people of the Toft worshipped the Necromancer. There were stories of children going missing in the night, and foul chambers beneath the town where bloody rites happened. Since the Necromancer was driven off Sorcerer's Hill, these stories have all but stopped, but you remember them well. Make a awareness check, TN16 for me.
16, you said?
Yes, please.
I'm trying to use roll 20. I got a 17.
Excellent.
I just can't
19.
tell if I get Tengus or not. Yeah.
You got it? All right.
19.
And Thror? You there, George?
Oh, I'm sorry. I only had a 14. I was me.
Ella Brimborn and Lorith, you are aware that the top citizens' boats are not as packed with trade goods as you would expect for them to be making a journey of this long trip. Perhaps these people met with bandits. Their conversation comes to a close as they realize that you are all present, and a middle-aged short woman steps forward. Have you come to take all that your band couldn't carry away the first time? And she brandishes a blood-stained knife at you all.
Whoa, my lady! Whoa! We are not bandits. We are far from that. We are from the kingdom of Thranduil and Erebor, and from the I can't remember homeland, Lorith.
Gondor. Just say Gondor.
Gondor. And Gondor. We are traveling to Rohan on our journey. So
Make a courtesy roll. You are in an encounter now.
all right.
All of us, or just
Just Thror, because he was the one who made the introductions.
okay.
That's better. That would be a 17.
Alright, that is a success. Excellent. So this is Matilda. She favors wisdom over valor. What is the company's highest wisdom score?
Got a 5.
And
5.
yeah, we're all the same.
So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And +1 for each Bjorning and elf.
Yes. I finally count.
All right.
Try to seduce her. You're in a relationship now.
That's true.
But you are not from there. How do I know that you are originally from there and have fallen in with this foul bandits company?
My lady, I am Ella Brimborn for the company of the Whiskey Drinking Bear. You may have heard of us or heard of our songs or tales and legends throughout Middle Earth here and these lands. Are you aware of us? Have you heard of us?
No, I have not. Why should I have?
We're adventurers, ma'am, not thieves. What happened? When did they beset you?
It was about 2 hours ago. As we were going down the stairs, they ambushed us on the stairs with their archers, and they took all that they could carry away from us. And their leader said that he was a noble who had fallen because of the King of Rohan, and because of the king's actions, he was forced to take tax on those that he deemed eligible, and he deemed us eligible to tax us.
Most dishonorable. We will definitely bring this to the attention of the King of Rohan. But have you wounded?
We are not wounded. We are not fools. We did not resist and let them take what they wished. Make a persuade roll for talking about taking the info to the King of Gondor.
Oh. Glad I rolled up my persuade. Okay, 8, 9, 13.
Excellent. What good will this king do us? We are travelers. We will be going down the river into Gondor before in selling our wares in Osgiliath before we turn around and return to Rohan before returning to the Toft. What will he do for us now that we don't have goods to sell in the market?
I don't know. I don't know that he can or will be able to make good what you've lost, but I'm sure that he will make sure that the bandits are disbanded and driven away. And
he's had plenty of chance to do so before we arrived, and apparently he has failed.
perhaps he didn't know it.
This must be a weak king.
I would say that perhaps the king has been unaware of these bandits. It's not common in Rohan or at its borders.
Make a persuade roll.
I had to open my big mouth, didn't I?
Yep.
Can you pick that up? Because I can't get it. Not with your foot.
I have to get it near me.
Where's the hand sanitizer? 13.
13 did not pass.
Well, I
That's
don't know
what I thought. A weak king. And a king that was not. When my mother was young, we worshipped at the strong king of Dol Guldur because we did what was required of us. We were protected and knew nothing but peace in those times.
I don't.
Well, hey. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Carry on. I was going to say peace at the price of death for the forest around you. I think you may have been misled, ma'am. But we will bring this matter to the attention of the king, be assured. I don't know what it will bring, but we'll do our best to see that the matter is dealt with.
Make a persuade roll, TN 18.
Whoa.
You insulted her, and therefore it makes it harder.
I insulted her?
Mm-hmm.
Because I said she was mistaken?
Yep.
Oh, fuck her. 21, baby.
There you go.
Yep.
Take that.
We expect, so I can expect that when we come with our boats laden with gold, that we will not be having to give it all up to this Hurolf, the Forsaken Noble.
I should think not. But also, you may want to re-strategize. If you do things in the exact same way, the same people may take you the same way. So be aware of their tactics and adjust accordingly. That is the way to deal with change.
Do you know a better way up this waterfall?
Well, I think that having your guards flush the area so that there are no archers.
We have no trained guards. We are all just tradespeople.
Well, if you travel with gold these days, I think you'd best.
We shall do our best to have the Riders of Rohan help in this matter. They are under a new king or a change in kingship, and it does take time for things to settle down. So obviously, this noble is believes they have been wronged in some way, and this is their path to resolution. Hopefully, we can find a way to make amends for the wrongdoings that have occurred. We will do our part. But again, we are not bandits, and we are sorry that you have had bad troubles. We will do as we have been doing in our lives, which is helping those that are in need and fighting the shadow now is upon the lands. So be at peace.
It is
Are-
good for you to say, but all the goods that we carry here is the goods that we make the gold off of, and the gold that we bring back, which is what keeps our village flush and keeps us able to survive. Without merchandise to sell, we will not be bringing back gold, and our village will suffer.
We are.
How does your brave adventuring company help us?
We would be happy to travel with you if you are traveling in our same direction, and offer you assistance while we journey.
They are not going to be going. They're branching off toward Gondor, where you're branching into Rohan.
Mm. Well, unfortunately, we are headed to Rohan, so maybe we can travel with you for part of a day and make sure that no one bothers you, and then we will swing back and head back towards Rohan.
What we need is our goods back from that no-good thief Hurl.
How far away do you think he has traveled now?
2 hours, you say?
His men had horses, but it has been 2 hours since we were robbed.
What direction did they take?
They went back up the stairs.
Back up the stairs?
The way
Very
you
good.
have come from.
All right. I tell you what, give us 4 hours. If you can wait here, we will try and return your goods and before you head out again.
Make an inspire roll.
Okay.
I think we just got into a pretty kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Probably. But
I was going to offer that earlier, though, so I was going to do a huddle and, you know.
All right. Excellent. Gandalf with 2 Tengus.
Excellent.
Nice.
You're at 4 successes thus far with 1 failure. With 5 failures to go before the encounter ends. So what are your credentials? What have you hunted down that makes us think that you can find these bandits?
An undying werewolf.
Ha.
Thror killed.
Stories of the woodsmen that are fear Dol Guldur.
Yeah, Thror killed a dragon. Let's see. Lorith killed, I don't know, a couple Balrogs.
Yeah.
I think a little couple bandits.
One Balrog, and I think he did the other one.
Yeah, I think a couple bandits won't be a problem for us. I can regale you with songs of our conquering of creatures.
Then regale us.
What's that?
Then regale us.
All right. I don't know if I'm prepared to do something, but
Tell the song of the Gibbet King.
yeah, I said I was going to do something like that. The wargs of the shadow are driven by cowardice. The great eye calls to them from the hidden darkness. If not for his deceitful voice, no burden would they bear. For the fear from the eagles and flying teeth from the air. They fear the flower of flame, for flesh it sear. Wargs are coward, driven by hunger and fear. This is when we fought on the ramparts of the bridge over the Selduin River.
Make a song roll with roll your feet die twice and take the better of the result.
Okay. What was the TN number?
TN 14.
Okay. Well, I got a 21 on the first roll.
Alright. Success, that's 5 successes. So you are good with monsters, and so you are good with warriors. But how can we trust that you won't keep the gold for the treasure for yourselves? How do we know we will never see you, that we will see you again?
All of us are in high standing amongst our own people and
We have no need of your goods.
kingdoms. I have no need of your trade goods. Just the satisfaction to know that you are doing well and profiting yourself and doing safe, and that you do love your king of your land and give him praise rather than spit vinegar when you hear his name.
Make a persuade roll. 14.
That's a 15.
Ooh, close. You're at 6 successes. One more gets you over the top. And what makes you think that we should? What has this new king of Rohan done that that has earned our respect? All we see that he has not been able to control his lands from cutthroats.
Well, perhaps respect is earned, not given, but you must still give someone time. He has just been newly installed. The fallout may not have been pleasant so far, but the rewards have yet to come. Give it time.
Make a persuade roll. TN 16. Excellent. You made it. She looks at you, Lorith, and says, I am ashamed to admit my mother lived in a time when the people of the Toft made great sacrifices to the Lord of Sorcerer's Hill to protect us. In my days, it seems I have the free peoples united to flush out what threatens us. Go forth and defeat these bandits. When you return victorious, I will sing your praises to my neighbors in the Toft, ensuring nothing like that ever happens again. The Toft will be a different place. And she offers each of you 7 treasure to complete this task.
Very good. We will make haste.
Alright.
Wait a minute.
Sure.
Before we go, we want to get some deets on them. We know about the noblemen, but how many horsemen did you see? How many archers assailed you?
They were
How many
hidden
were
in
there
the
altogether?
trees. There were anywhere
So you
between 20 and 50.
Ah. So, we must plan accordingly.
So tracking down her oaf is a prolonged task requiring 6 successful TN 16 hunting rolls.
No travel roll?
Nope, not a travel roll. Because you're basically backtracking up your way. Who's going to be the hunter?
I got 2 in hunting.
I got 3.
Lorith, our ranger, should hunt away.
Well, we could split it up, right? Or is it that
You
much?
can split it up if you want, sure.
I'll start it off because I got 3, so.
Okay.
Ah, nice. 10, 11, Tengu, and Tengu. So that is 23 with 2 Tengus.
Excellent. You've made the first success. You backtrack up the stairs and start looking through there. You find that there are several ruins that are covered up in moss and ivy and vines around here. That would make a good place to hang out for a company of ne'er-do-wells. So,
Can I examine the moss and to pick up the trail and to see if if it's frequently used or if it's just been once.
Sure.
Pushed by.
Make another hunting roll.
Okay. Fuck. This is not so good. Let's see. 14 with a Tengu.
14, that is an X. You spend 2 hours studying the terrain of these ruins and do not have any evidence to support it, so that you've lost time.
So does somebody else want to take it over, or should I try one more?
I was going to try something different.
Good.
And use one of my skills to help here. Since they are laden with a lot of goods from the merchants, I would like to invoke my trading specialty to help identify their carrying of more goods. So I'm looking for signs that would typically find from, carrying of heavy weight with horses, etc.
You find those signs passing by these ruins, and that leads you out further up the river.
Great.
Who wishes to go next?
I can try a hunting roll because I haven't done anything yet.
Do so. Hey, do we have any
16.
That is what you needed. You find yourself surrounded by a dozen warriors in helm and full armor, bearing the symbol of the mark. These are one of the eastern Mets, Eoed, patrolling the edges of their kingdom. Their leader, who has a navy suit beneath his armor and red hair billowing out from beneath his helm, looms over you. Not convinced you're anything but bandits. Who are you? And what business do you have in the mark? His deep voice billows like Helm's horn itself. You are in another encounter. This is Krogar, and he favors valor over wisdom. The threshold is equals the highest of your valor skills, valor attributes, +1 for every rider of Rohan who's present.
Oh, shit.
Figures.
I got a 4 in Valor.
4 in Valor.
I've got a 5.
Yeah, I figured you'd have 5.
So 5.
Ooh, we are friends of a rider.
Yep, but unfortunately he's wandered off.
Yeah, but we can use his name. Name
So
dropping is never bad.
I will hail. I'll hail them.
Okay. Make a introduction. Figure out how to best introduce yourself to him.
Hail! I am a prince of Erebor. I am Thror, Flamestrike. I am also an elf friend and ambassador to our elven friends, such as Celebrimborn here. We are adventurers in giving chase to bandits who have just stolen from tradesmen who are traveling down the river towards Gondor. We are not a foe of yours. If you care to help us pursue these bandits, we are following their tracks now.
Make a courtesy roll.
Okay.
TN 16.
Not bad. 15 and 6, 21, and 1 Tengu.
21. Excellent. Thror, you are a long way from home and a long way from the elves of which you represent. You best learn the customs of the mark if you wish to thrive down here. The way that you were going about your business without checking in with the Lord of the Eastermet, you could have been mistaken as bandits and shot down where you stood.
Understood. We have been riding with a rider of Rohan, but he's out scouting now. So he did not make us more aware of this. He may be on his way to communicate who we are and where we are.
And what is this rider of Rohan's name?
His name is Grimbold.
Make a persuasion roll.
What's
TN
Grimbold's father's name?
1800.
1800.
1800. 18.
Are you guys all wasted?
Yeah, that's
Getting
what I'm
there. Getting there.
They're not, I swear. It's just.
All right.
Can we all roll?
Nope. Just different.
I got a 16 with the Tengu, but I will spend a point of hope in order to make this one happen.
That is not a name to be dropping in these areas. He is a son of the West, an enemy of my lord. His lord owes a vast chest of weregild to our brethren for members of our Eowed who have been slain in kin strife.
Yet we've been traveling towards Rohan to help foment a lasting peace between your peoples. But at present, we are trying to help these tradesmen who are beset by a disgruntled noble, supposedly, who has fallen in with bandits.
Make a inspire roll, actually.
Inspire?
Mm-hmm.
Be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not bad. That's not great. Alright. 15 with the Tengu.
15 with the Tengu. You come to bring change. You are declaring yourself an enemy of my lord. Whereas my brethren would welcome peace in the change of that, I cannot see how this could happen without bringing insult to my lord. And that would be dishonorable.
Yet we will look to try to do it without insult.
And how do you propose to do this?
We need to take the lie of the land, sir, before we can do that.
Make a persuade roll. TN 16.
Every wise strategist looks at the ground they must traverse before planning their trip. What am I doing? Persuade again?
Persuade, TN 16. Nice.
Yeah, it was like going on dinner hooks though, because the last one was a 5. And if it had been less.
Then you shall take the lay of the land. But unfortunately you have come in from where you have come in where there are bandits. And they move about quickly and have eluded our Eowed thus far. What evidence do you have of their location?
Well, starting from the place where the tradesmen were attacked, it has been somewhat over 4 hours now since, and yet if you have been ranging wide and have not seen them, they must be holed up somewhere. In these ruins, I saw many a sign that it would be a good place for them, but we did not find sign of them absolutely yet. if we join our forces, perhaps we can take these vagrants down.
Make a hunting rope.
Oops. Okay, same thing. That's funny. All right. All right. That's 22 with 2 Tengus.
Nice. You're at 5 successes. Unfortunately, you are not been introduced to my lord, and you do not have permission of him to take part in our mission to find these bandits. When you have made a good and favorable impression upon my lord, then perhaps we will ride side by side.
Well, in the meantime, will you at least allow us, under your own cognizance, to continue our search alone? For we've given our word to the tradesmen that we would search for these people to return their goods, and we do not wish to go back on our word. We've never done so before.
You have given your word, and you are honorable people to hold to it. I wish you the best in doing so. Make a courtesy roll.
Oh, shit. That's not my best skill. $15 with the Tengu.
15 with the Tengu. You're at 6 successes, 1 more to get through there.
Ella Brimborn wants to interject.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I'm lucky. I don't know how I got wound it through this so bad.
Kroger, I find you to be a noble warrior, and I have known your people throughout the years. Do you not know your own history of the Rohirrim always taking the higher road? I do not know why you speak poorly of an ally of yours that has been forever. Your history is very important. Do you not know the song that Ella Brimborn has composed of the Gondorian Alliance? Should I regale you with that history?
Regale us, elf. Teach us our own history.
Oh boy.
In the year 2510, came from Gondor a plea, the Earl of the Young, across the grassy sea. An army of Gondor had been trapped against the Limelight River. The Rohirrim mounted up to forge an alliance forever. 7,000 riders, 700 mounted archers, armored gleamed so bright that even the shadow of Guldur received the brilliant light. The Lady of the Golden Wood imbued that with strength and speed, that the river Anduin parted, never held them at heed. The host of orcs and wild men, so named Balkoth, had changed Steward Chiron's men's colors to bloody cloth. So joined the Eothid, the men of Gondor, as King Earl forded the Anduin and changed the tidings of war. Both White Tree and White Horse destroyed the cruel horde. Forever thereafter were joined these people through heart and sword. Do not speak ill of those who have been your ally forever. Friends and kinship and history is very important, and don't take that lightly. You are a noble man, and you should honor your history of your people. And those before you, the Rohirrim, your ancestors who have fought bravely for others. We just seek to fight for these people, these simple boatmen that are your own people, to recover their goods for them and make right in your king's name. Why do you spend time inhibiting us from going forward? And why don't you follow us? to victory to recover these goods.
Make a song roll, TN16. You may roll your feat die twice and take the better roll.
Whoops. That's a 27.
Whoa!
Whoa.
And that's the first roll.
What's the second roll?
Oh, I don't know. Let me do it again.
I just want to see if you can beat a 27.
I'm doing it on roll 20, so I don't know what it says a feat die. It doesn't give me the actual numbers. It just gives me my total. I can roll it again and see what happens, but
Sure, roll it again and see what happens.
like I usually do my dice on the table, but I thought I'd try roll 20 and see what happens.
Your first die has to be your feat die because
Yeah.
it's a 7.
But the numbers aren't coming up for me. It just gives me the total.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, no,
So-
Yeah.
On mine it showed it's 7, 3, 2, 5, and 3.
yeah, my numbers aren't coming up for some reason. All I see is like these little picture icons with a total. So the second time I rolled it, it was 20. But I re-rolled everything. You know.
Yeah, so you rolled a 27 first time with 2 Tengu.
Oh, you can see it on your thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even see what I rolled. So what was my feat die?
7.
Alright, so I'll just try to re-roll that. Second one was the Iosauron on the table, so we won't take that one.
We won't worry about that. What'd you get?
Oh, just the 20. Well, I got the 27 total.
With 2 Tengu.
With 2 Tengus. Yeah.
Krogar looks at you and says, "Well met, my brothers. Your steeds look tired. Allow me to provide you with fresh ones from Senric's stock. We'll care for yours. Just return the mounts to Senric. They will provide the energy you need to run down the scoundrel." So when using the Rohirrim mounts, you reroll the feat die and take the better result on athletic checks to ride horses.
Wow.
I hear Herof has hideouts at the ruins in the shadow of Amen-La. I would start my search there. This information counts as a free success on your hunting prolonged task.
Yay. Which brings us to
4 out of 6. Okay, he leaves you to with fresh horses to continue your hunt.
all right.
The sun is
Thank
getting low in the sky.
On to Amen-La.
On to Amen-La.
Hunting rule.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else want to do it, or should I do one more?
You should probably do it.
And then somebody else can do the last one or something. All right. Oh, thank goodness. All right, so that's 9 and 19.
19. You get to Amen-La and you are looking around, and there is plenty of evidence of recent activity of horses and men. One more.
Who wants
Yeah,
to do
Mitch.
it?
I'll try it. 18.
18, that's a success. So you pass through the forest into a clearing filled with collapsed ruins and the broken remains of ancient statues. A rider with long brown hair sits on the ledge of one of the ruins. He plays a solemn song on his recorder. What do you do?
You guys want to stealth up?
Yeah, sounds good.
Roll your stealth.
So we basically get off the horses and walk them carefully, or do we stealthily go on them? I don't understand that.
Are you going with your horses or going off of your horses?
I think we'd.
I would tie up the horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems wise.
Yeah. I'll talk to the horses. Ella Brimborn talks to the horses and tells them that they'll be back. Just stay here, and they're very brave and they deserve grass. Take their bits out or whatever, so they can start munching on grass and preoccupy themselves. Okay. Tell them to be quiet. Stealth rolls.
I got
Stealth
18
rolls
on mine. Barrett.
18, excellent.
I
got it.
17.
Ella Brimborn got an 8.
Ella Brimborn, you step on a branch, and he looks up at you.
That's a wonderful tune you're playing there, my brother. What is the origin of that?
It is an original piece, he says. It is called The Fall of Hurlf. It is the tale of a respected noble house of the Mark that was stripped of its name and its lands because of the cruelty of King Thengel. Because of him and his ne'er-do-well son Thengel, Hurlf's been forced to make a living by taking from those who have more than their fair share. Will you join me on my quest of vengeance against the throne of Rohan, and restore my family name by taxing those who cross my path?
Well, my name is Ella Brimborn. It sounds like you have a noble task against you. What is your name?
My name is Hurlf.
How do you tell who has too much or who has just enough? Perhaps some of those that you take from are supporting many others.
Then you do not
How can you
understand
judge?
what it is to be in my situation. You do not understand the pain of going out and knowing that your reputation is tarnished. When I see a party that is more than their fair share and see the bulges in their coin purses or in their wagons overflowing with goods, then I know that I have found someone who has been made better than me in their situation, and who are fair game to take from.
Well, you speak of what you do not know. I, of all people, can understand exile. My people were driven from this land, driven from Gondor, and now we live hiding, separated from one another, waiting for our time, guarding the borders of these lands that used to be our kin. We used to be kin to you. I know more about exile than you could possibly know, and I have been fighting the enemies of the world since I was 12 years old, when I was first taken into a Balrog's, a Barrow White's hill, and almost died. Perhaps in your genteel exile, where you skim from those who seek only to trade and support others, you have lost your way of understanding what it means to be truly downtrodden. Have you not an instrument? Have you not a voice? Have you not people? Perhaps your people would absorb you again and give you honor if you acted with more honor.
My people respect me, and they follow me to the ends of these lands, driven by my quest.
You think of your people as a small band of people. How could the whole land of Rohan possibly give you honor when you don't honor all of it. If you honor only your own kin, and you value only their worth, then how could your family possibly rule a land made of so many different kinds of people? Rohan is a beautiful place with many hills and valleys of different families.
And it is why I love it, and why I remain, and why I seek vengeance against the foul king who has stripped me of my place in it.
You take vengeance against a king by stealing from travelers? How does that work?
It works as I take from them and make the king be shown weak and petty, and let the people know that they have been robbed because I have been put in this situation unjustly by the king.
And when you prey on the unsuspecting, perhaps it is you that are showing weakness. Weakness of character. I'm sorry to say, you seem like a man who was noble, but I feel that you don't know what you're doing anymore.
And with that, he draws his sword.
Oh, of course.
Nice job, Laura.
I have no wish to harm you.
And behind the trees, a whole lot of bandits show up.
Boy, what happened to our awareness?
Yeah.
A true noble, a true king's son, fights 1-to-1 with those he would challenge.
Ooh, she's doing a mano a woman.
Yeah. I got royalty revealed. Does that do me any fucking good?
It does. Then he says, then step up here and join me in combat. And we'll see if you are as mighty as you are as you speak.
I let go of my pack. I only have my weapons upon me, and I loosen my whatever. I grab my shield and I draw my sword. I look behind at my friends and say,
Hush.
yeah, I just a little smile and a little wave. You know?
To Laura,
who stepped into it with her big mouth, thinking I didn't know how far I could push it before that, but apparently not that far.
we are at your side.
But when
We are with you, Lorith. You shall defeat this. Just put him down and on his knees in shame before his men.
Here he is. Okay. What stance do you want to declare? By the way, for you haven't seen the picture on the map that represents Herolf, he looks like Adam Driver in medieval garb.
Right, from...
Well, normally I'd go balls out, but I think I'll go for open stance on this one. For now.
You're in open stance, make your attack.
Okay.
You are standing on top of the ruins, about 15 feet off the ground, as his men watch from the sides.
Lure of Arnor. This land is my land as well. I know this land. I know this land very well. Alright, that's not the greatest, but... Alright, okay. Alright, so that's 5, 10, 22, 25 with 2 Tengus.
That hits, damage plus 2 times body.
Alright, 2 times body is 16 plus 7, so 23.
How do you want to do this?
does he fights back, of course, right? So,
Yeah.
So we tussle. It looks like he's going to do first blood, and then I do a feint, and he falls for it, catches himself the last time and almost blocks it, and I go in under his guard, right through his heart, and then pull out, and he falls with a little confused smile on his face.
And that's how you kill Hurl.
That probably wasn't supposed to happen, was it?
Wow, that's the worst undercover boss episode I've ever seen.
Well, that ended pretty quickly.
You still have all the other guards who are all the other thieves who are looking at you.
I walk up to his body and I say, "He is your leader. He was your leader. I claim his place now. Two of you, take his body to prepare it for the proper burial.
They take his body.
The rest of you, lay down your weapons and come swear fealty to me."
Make a TN18 persuasion roll. You can re-roll your feat die twice and take the better number.
Can I help intimidate?
Oh, please
Actually,
do.
you can actually make a awe roll with that, Lorith. No, this is Lorith's
Same
cause
amount
since
of
she
dice.
felled the leader.
Well, I just wanted to be the heavy-matic guy standing behind her. A little extra persuasion.
You said I could roll the feat die again?
You can roll the feat die twice and take
Oh.
the better roll.
Yes.
It's a good thing, because it's a Gandalf, because this is the rest of my dice. It was like 2s and 3s. Oh, I lucked out so bad.
Everybody make awareness rolls.
The other one was good, but this was just luck. Everybody?
Everybody.
Got a 20.
13.
Thror, you hear bandits talking about how they never agreed with his pro-nobility angle, saying that he looked down on the rest of them because they didn't have a noble title to their name.
23 with 2 tangoos. On my awareness.
23 with... You hear that there a lot of people are talking bad about Hurl, saying that he looked down on them because he thought himself a great noble and that they were the rest of them were scum.
I say to them, I know this is a difficult time. Thinking yourselves leaderless, thinking yourselves homeless, living in ruins, taking the scraps of the great house. That is not necessary. If you will renounce the ways of banditry, we will take your cause to the king and see if we can reunite the houses and have you reinstated.
The bandits, some of the bandits call, go, "We don't come from any great houses. We are just bandits.
If you don't,
We just put up with Hurl because he put up a good show when he was the face of our operations."
he could
What
sit
skills do you have?
What?
What skills do you have, my people?
We have horrible strength, axe, and spear.
You need not be nobles to fight in the defense of your homes, and you need not be nobles to be welcomed back into the fold of a country of good people. If there is no good place in Rohan for you to be found. Perhaps we could find work for you in another place, in another town, where we have standing.
You could be warriors or guards, or what if that's your skills, or root out banditry, since you were aware of those ways, stopping others and converting others and turning them towards,
yes,
a good cause.
The very caravan of tradesmen that you last preyed upon would probably be happy to hire guards. You'd get better pay, you'd get regular food, you wouldn't have to wait and profit off misery.
Make an inspire roll.
I wink at Laura. That was good.
Well, it's not your barding level, but... $12 so far. 17.
A bunch of them go off on their own way and get on their horses and take off as they don't want to follow you. Half the group stays with you and will follow you.
Are they taking any of the goods with them?
They are not. The goods are piled up in the center of the camp.
Okay. All right.
There is the goods. There is the goods stolen from the Toft merchants, which you can identify from knowing what they have to sell. Plus, there is 120 worth of treasure.
This treasure that you have would be enough to stake you in a town as good homesteaders, should you choose.
Why are we getting the
this
treasure back after they stole it? No, that's not right.
A life of skulking cannot be that rewarding.
No, if you truly desire to change your ways and become honest people of Middle Earth, then follow us. We will find a place for you. You have our word. Gather up the belongings. We are going to return what belongs to those that were stolen. And be prepared, for they will not be as accepting to you initially. You must show your valor, show your worth, and then hopefully they will accept you.
And in any case, we will honor you for that.
So they go with you and follow you. Where do you lead them? It is now night.
Do you want to press on to the steps and try to catch up to them? I don't want to lose too much time.
Yeah, if we can do it without being damaged, without damaging the horses and stuff, we should go back to the tradesmen as soon as possible. But
or at least the Rohirrim guards.
Yeah, I'm certain my fire making skills, I can put up enough torches for everyone, and Ella Brimborn can probably lead the way. I'm sure he's got good night vision.
eyes.
A couple of the thieves go lead the way with you. They know this route very well.
We talk with them as we go and find out, their long stories, where they were from originally, and chat a little. And
they are either woodsmen, or former woodsmen, or former members of the Mark, who have been disenfranchised by King Thengel's rule and the feud between the second and third lieutenant, leading which made them feel that their lives are not worth anything to them, and so they've struck out on their own.
Well, so yeah. So some of them were at least, strong citizens at one point. So it's not too much of a stretch to hope that we might be able to help them back into that for good.
So I speak to them as well and ask, do you have a were guild upon your head?
No.
No.
Perhaps you do not understand a were-guild. A were-guild is what is due to a family if you if you kill somebody, then you owe them the were-guild to the family to make up for what they would have made for the family over the course of their life.
So you haven't killed anyone in your banditry at all?
Nope, we have not. We've frightened people out of their possessions.
Well, that is at least good. And the
They're all-
tradesman said as
Not
much.
by some of the people that rode off would have done it, but Herolf led us to think that are better of ourselves than doing that.
He did have some honor then, as he showed when he stood to single combat. It is too bad that he had to fall into ruin instead of serving his country and his people better.
Okay.
Well,
So you-
we
Go
do have a place for you. If we cannot find a place here, or on our journey to Gondor here, we shall find a home for you. Just remember,
Home and good work.
you must work hard, be strong, do not fall prey to your past sins.
It's easy in exile.
They
think
kind
that
of
no one
stay
cares.
kind of quiet and whisper amongst themselves. What do you do next?
I think we're continuing to try and journey on at a slow pace, nothing too fast that would cause the horses harm.
Yeah, I think we told the boat people we'd bring stuff back in 4 hours.
Right.
Yeah, we
I don't know if that was.
You're well past that. You're going on 10 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why we need to travel through the night.
So you come up upon their camp, and they immediately respond negatively and begin drawing knives and taking defensive positions behind their boats.
We shout that is Thror, Elebrimborn, and Lorith. We have returned with your goods, as we had promised. Unfortunately, it took longer than we thought.
The lady comes out on there. Her name Matilda, and she comes out to inspect what you have brought back. You show her?
We asked them
Yes.
to return the goods to them.
Please only take what is yours, and we will take the other goods and that are not yours, and hopefully donate them to a charity or towards something to help unfortunate people.
From what I understand of these lands, retrieve treasure like this is supposed to go to the king.
And that's where we shall take it.
Yep. Then they take all of their goods, and they have a big celebration. There's tambourines and fiddles playing throughout the night as they play and celebrate the return of their good fortune. But they they don't mingle easily with those that you brought back with you.
We try to ask them or whatever to forgive the people, that these people actually tell them stories about how these people do want to be reformed, and they were just following orders of their leader, and it really wasn't in their heart. And
They've renounced
these
their
people
ways.
could be good allies and possibly serve as guards. Some of them, if they wanted a new life, and to they spoke that they have not killed or slain others, and they were just kind of following orders of their leader, but that leader is gone and dispatched. And if you could give these people it just for as a favor to us for helping return the goods and everything that may have been lost, if you can look in your hearts to help some of these people that may want to travel with you, and we will take the others that do not want to have company, or you do not want to have company with.
Make a persuade roll. TN 16.
10.
What did you need? 16? If you get a point of hope, you want to take a party treasure? Party point of hope?
Yeah, that's fine.
Take a
Does
party
that-
point of hope. Sure.
Add 6 to your...
Yeah.
Yeah, and then do it.
And that does it. Okay. Those... Matilda looks at, waves her knife at the former thieves and says, "Those of you who would serve as guards to us, those that would like to see the Toft and see Gondor and the rest of Rohan, come forward to me and we will discuss terms." And 2 out of the 3 guards that are with you still go up and join her.
So we only have one left to...
You have 1 left.
Okay. Oh, I thought we had like 40.
Yeah, I didn't know how many we had.
We persuaded all of them to come.
Wiki, why did you steal my chair? Just keeps... That's what he wants. He keeps coming in here and meowing at me. I thought he wanted food, love, attention. No. He wants my chair.
Because it's warm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yep.
covered in a towel, and he can't resist a towel.
So what do you do from here?
Well, we make merry with them for the evening, for the rest of the evening,
Sure.
and
Make an athletics
make
test
sure that
for me,
there's-
please.
huh?
Make an athletics test for me.
You have to return the horses as well.
Yeah,
these
but we
people know
can
how
do
to
that in the
celebrate.
morning. I mean, we've already traveled half the night, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did sleep for the night.
Ella Brimborn got an 18 athletics.
You keep up partying with them throughout the night. You do not wear out.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be the true of me. But I did have a big fight. Oh, alright. I rolled 10.
10, and you pass out.
10 on... I had 3 dice besides the feed dice. I rolled 10.
I beat that. I got an 8.
And down you drop. A sad example of dwarfdom.
So,
You know, it's
the
hard
least elf-
riding a horse all day and night. I'm only a dwarf.
Morning arrives.
My buttocks cannot take it.
So is the one that's with us, is he a former, is he a person of Rohan or somewhere else?
Roll a 6-sided die.
6.
He is he's a former woodsman who was driven off for a minor crime.
Well, have you ever worked in a tavern, my friend?
No, I have not. I was a woodcutter.
And did you like woodcutting, or would you prefer another...
I did not enjoy it. That's why I started thieving from the people in Woodsman Town.
Wouldn't it be more fun to serve people drinks and roll the kegs in and out and give a cheery chatter to folk from all over Middle Earth as they come in to your
And maybe
bar.
you may even care for the kegs if they have damage to repair them.
I don't know. I've never thought about it.
Well, think about it. Think about it while we do this, and if that, we'll take the matter up again in a while. For now, we're happy to have you ride with us.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's come up with a name for him.
I'm gonna get a cup of tea. So I have some caffeine to help me stand, since the cat has taken over my chair.
And his name must be Earl Grey.
There you go.
Bring it up. His name is Thurber.
Thurber. Okay.
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 So, in the morning you go on in and you begin your journey to... What's that place called?
Should we send a raven?
Fresca? Senric, the who gave you the horses.
Yeah.
And he is not far. He lives in the Eastermit. So that's down into here. Following the map. And he lives basically on the range with the horses. Senric is a member of a noble house, tracing his lineage back to Eofor, son of Brago. He has been the third marshal for many years, yet he remains as suspicious and wary of his place as in his first uneasy days. Third marshal before him was his uncle Edwin, brother to his father Swidhan. When it came to time to replace the elderly marshal in his position, Edwin's own son Esmond approached Thengel King, offering oaths of loyalty and honor. Senric promised all of that and brought plenty of gold. So you go to see Senric. Find the picture.
Sorry, where were we on the map?
You have traveled over
Okay.
down to there.
All right. Very good. Did we need to send Raven out to the king then, or are we assuming Grimbald has made contact?
Grimbald's just traveling with you. He's just not doing much. He's
okay.
being moody.
Okay.
Well, you can't say that now because he wasn't there before when we met the other. Are you saying he's met up with us now?
He's met up with you.
Okay.
He's just being very quiet.
So I asked him how much his where guild is for his family.
He shakes his head and rides ahead of you.
Pretty good.
Who?
Grimbald.
Oh.
So should we be sending a raven to the king so that he knows we're coming, or no?
The Thurber says there's no need for that. When you arrive, provide the evidence that you have slain Heroth, and you will be rewarded for that. And we'll have possibly have the ear of the king.
Oh, yeah,
Good.
I took a little bit of his.
Mm-hmm. Did we get our 7 treasure pieces from the Matilda?
You get 7 treasure pieces each from Matilda.
Great. All right, then we will continue our journey.
And we have a witness. Who's not of our party.
So you travel on, and you come through the flatlands of the Eastern Met. The East Fold of the realm of Rohan lies east of the Snowburn and south of the Entwash and extends as far as Fenmarch, where the Mering Stream separates the Rittermark from Gondor. The Fold is the region that was first occupied by the Arrowlings when they moved to Calendarlin. It is still part of the King's lands, the Lord of the Mark's own demesnes, as there on a great hill stands Alberg, the chief city of Rohan at the time of Arrow, and that is the home city of Grimbald. Between the Fold and Fenmarch lie the East Dales, populous valleys opening along the northern side of the White Mountains. Here the Rohirrim have many busy farmlands and pastures, fed by the rills, brooks, and torrents that flow down swiftly from the slopes of the mountains into Entwash to the north. The Wyss is the name given to the fertile meadows to the north of the Great West Road. This land is the granary of Rohan, a wide region dotted by farms and dominated by the loops and meanders of the river. Beyond Fenmarch lies Enorion, Sunderling in the speech of the Mark, a land left largely empty in the waning years of Gondor. Its farmers and knights live mostly in the east and leave the Rohirrim to guard the west. The Mering Stream marks the border as it rolls down from the dark Firian Dale in the shadow of the hallowed mountain. There the tomb of Elendil long rested, and there Errol the Young and the steward Syrians swore the oaths that founded Rohan and bound it forever to Gondor.
Wow, that's a lot.
Predators do not fare well in Eastfold as these are settled and guarded lands, and the wolves of the nearby mountains have learned not to pursue their quarry too far. Many kinds of goats roam the high slopes among oaks, pines, and beeches, feeding on summer grass and winter shrubs and shoots. A few herds of cattle and countless flocks of sheep roam the pastures of the Wyss. Horse herds are not a common sight, as they are usually led north to run upon the plains of the Easterment, in which you are. Birds of many kinds fly over Eastfold, swift swallows, warblers, and sparrows, kestrels, eagles, and buzzards. Herons, storks, ducks, and geese ply the fens around the Entwash, where carp and great catfish swim. And there you come to the ranch with those horses, and a bunch of riders meet you up there and say, "What is your business with near Senric's herd?"
We are here to return Senric's horses. He has loaned them to us.
Who authorized you to have Senric's horses?
Sendrick provided the horses to us. He met us.
It was Krogar.
And Krogar.
Krogar.
Yeah.
Sorry, Krogar.
Senric is the lieutenant.
Gotcha.
All right, come with us. And they come on up, and they make a big show in front of you as Senric sits there watching, drinking from a goblet, as he watches his men inspect the horses to make sure that they're in no worse condition now than when they were handed over. And they seem very pleased with you, with how you have handled the horses. And only after the last horse has been inspected does Senric turn to you and say, "So what brings an elf and a dwarf and a ranger into the land of the Mark?" Surely not just to catch thieves.
No, we have been sent here to meet with your king.
Ah, Thengel, yes. It would have not surprised me that a man who has Sindarin spoken in the king's halls would summon a ranger, a dwarf, and an elf to be further advisors to him.
We are not necessarily advisors yet, so, but we are here to impart our goodwill and to have discussions, as you've probably heard the rumblings from the south.
Pretend that I am dumb. What rumblings do you speak of?
Have you not felt the earth shake?
There was an earth tremor several weeks ago.
And that is why we are here, to discuss that.
You are going to discuss earthquakes. You sound as mad as the denizen of Orthanc.
Are you? Yes. Mordor is active again, and we have seen many signs of the shadow. It is grave times, and this is why we seek the audience of your king.
And you think our king is up to the task of dealing with Mordor? Precious.
It is for us to gather that information. You speak of the madness of Orthanc. What mean you by this?
The wizard has locked himself away in his tower and has hired Dunlendings of all sorts to be his guards and servants there. Dunlendings are not even men. They are little more than animals and should be ridden down.
Harsh words.
They are horse eaters.
That is certainly foul to me.
This is
deep news.
You are not from here. If you were, you would realize of what a curse that is.
Aye, they're animals that are meant to roam.
See, Cedric, even you have come under the corruption of the shadow when you do not support your own people and your own king, and yet you are a lieutenant. I would believe that for the only inspiration of your men, you should hope for better and for the best of the free people and the people that you rule and look over, as well as your animals and these lands. For do not you want your own people to keep and inherit this lands, or whether you would rather have this land taken over by Mordor itself and have them expand their corruption over your lands? I would say that you should basically stick with your own people and your king and leader at this time, and find it in your heart to work together as a leader and not a dissenter.
Unfortunately, the king is not able to control his second lieutenant, who taunts my men, and his men slay my men, and refuses to pay the weregild to them.
Who is this second lieutenant you speak of?
The second lieutenant's name...
Of course, we know this already, but we're
Yeah.
playing dumb too.
Let me look that up.
Can I share this chair a little bit, Mickey? Can I sit on the corner?
Is
For fuck's sake.
Eogar.
Oh, I don't want to sit on your fur. How's that? Not very comfortable.
And where is Eogar currently?
He holds himself up proudly at Helm's Deep.
Ow. I can't stand it anymore.
Well, I appreciate your information. We have. Are you in need of people with skills as woodsmen, or people that have skills of labor? We have a friend here, Thurber, who has come with us from the north.
I have lost many men who are talented at riding and herding the horses. I have lost because of Eogar several talented men, and have need of replacing of them in my Aoid.
Well, it would be up to our friend Thurber if he wished to stay here or not, and then I introduce him to Cedric and see if this area seems of interest to you. Thurber, you're welcome to stay amongst these people or travel on with us further.
I think I'll travel on further.
Being cut down isn't to his taste.
No.
Surprise, surprise. I don't say that out loud. I'm saying that out of game. As you will have it. Well, perhaps your ranks will be swollen again soon. And perhaps this division can be healed.
I do not believe that it can. I believe things have gone too far. There has been bloodshed on across the land of Rohan. It'll take a great act to heal that.
Well, we will make the king aware of what's going on. We appreciate your candor and your open response to us, and also the care of our horses and allowing us to borrow such wonderful animals.
So can you tell us what has transpired as of late with Eogar, besides the owing of the Were Guild?
I do not know what Eogar has been doing. He is far west of here. However, at the river, the forces, you can see on the map where the Westermet meets the Eastermet.
Mm-hmm.
And at that river, they have Eogar's men meet on the west side, and Cedric's men meet on the east side, and they engage in flouting, which is where they call out insults to each other in rhyme back and forth across the river, trying to draw one person out into a duel in the middle of the river.
Your mother was a hamster.
Oh, well, Ella Brimborn actually knows of one of these Rohirrim taunts, if he can regale you in this taunt.
How many times are you going to say that tonight?
You gotta save that for the moment.
Okay, you want me to? All right.
Gotta save it for the moment. I'm sure we're
Well,
gonna be
I don't know if I'll ever get an
river.
opportunity to taunt someone across the river, so okay, I'll wait.
Yeah, wait until we're at the river. I guess I was looking for recent.
We always got to be the good guy, though. We don't ever get to taunt and murder hobo someone across the river, though. That's the problem.
Well, I thought we would go to the river and then you can taunt and bring them both together.
Afternoon.
So perhaps we would take a meal and then move on.
You take
early
dinner
wanted
with Cedric.
Yeah, I wanted to find out more from Cedric as far as what kind of past transgressions there were that needed to be healed besides the flouting.
Flouting, there is been back and forth of playing with against King Thengel, of making each other look bad in the king's eyes and getting them in trouble with the king. There has been issues of horse stealing. There has been issues of killing of each other's men.
I'm guessing the whole issues of each other's men being killed aren't like clear-cut things. They're muddy kind of engagements. Yeah.
And have you always had such harsh feelings for Eogar and his men and family?
Yes, my father had harsh feelings for him when he was second lieutenant. My uncle had harsh feelings for him when he was second lieutenant, And when I came into the position, I inherited those feelings and inherited the problems of Aogar.
So this has been long-standing challenges between both parties.
Yes, it has.
Feuds never end well.
And so if you were threatened by others from outside the region, you could not look past those in order to fight a common enemy?
We would fight the on there. However, I wouldn't put it past him to try to get me cut down in the line of combat.
Understood. Have you ever tried, since you've been leader, to meet with him and discuss some mutual accord?
There is no mutual accord with Aogar.
I'll take that as a no.
There may be soon, as armies of orcs pour out of Mordor, much like the Battle of the Five Armies. The elves and dwarves, although had been enemies for many years, joined forces each other against a common enemy, and this may be a time for healing. So
I do not doubt that we could work together in an emergency, but once it passes, things will return to as they are.
Well, be of open mind and open heart that things do not return to the old ways, and that as people together, brothers in arms, that we do not go back to the old ways of our ancestors, and we look for a better life together, working together. Just reflect on it.
I will reflect on your words, Elf.
So, now we take a meal?
You take a meal,
Sorry,
you have an early dinner.
Sorry, I wanted to find out about his relationship with the king as well. We could have that dinner.
That right?
He is. The king is not happy with the feuding between his two lieutenants, and is constantly, like you are here, trying to get them to meet and learn to work together. Whereas they're basically saying it's impossible. You don't understand.
Yeah,
right.
Family feud.
And so that has led to problems with Thengel, with them, with him getting into their business.
Who has lost the most favor? Or doesn't he know? With the
He doesn't know.
Oh.
It's probably equal.
I'm gonna while we eat, whenever I eat, probably less and faster because I'm used to it. So I'm going to take up a song while we eat and do a bit of. I'm going to do a bit of one of the lays of Beleriand, where about how the men of Numenor came and fought with the elves.
Sure, make a song roll. TN14.
I'll just do the most poignant section that I think will do. You know, I won't do the whole thing. Well, it's hugely long. Or what do I have in song? Oh shucks, I just have one. I gotta put more in song. I gotta put more in song. All right. Does anybody mind if I use party point of hope for this?
Sure.
So it gives me another box, right?
It gives you the attribute for that song is under.
I don't know what that means.
What is song under?
Oh, okay. What song is under? Not what that song is under. I can't.
Is it under heart?
It. Yeah, I think it's under wisdom.
Under wits? No.
song is here?
It's under body.
Oh.
So
okay.
you would add 8 to your row.
Nice. That'll be helpful. Ah! A Gandalf. And 3.
Nice.
A Gandalf and 11.
Gandalf and 11. So he listens to your song and things and says, "It's been a long time since we have had travelers from outside with such wisdom. I thank you for paying visit to my ranch. Please return anytime."
We're honored.
Very well. I was trying to find out more about King Thengel before we show up there. Like anything about his demeanor or things that we must know about him before we meet him.
He is an unusual man. He has taken a Gondorian wife. He has 3 daughters and a young son. And they speak Sindarin in the royal halls. So if you speak Sindarin there, you will get bonus points with the king with that. He seems very foreign as far as the Rohirrim are concerned.
Changes sometimes. Some changes are more difficult to ease into than others.
And unlike King Thengel, he's not bribable with lush displays of wealth. He's judges people based on their character, which is another huge change in the royal courts.
Surely one that could be seen as for the better in a certain light.
Yeah, but it scares the lieutenants because they knew what they were dealing with Thengel, but now they don't know what they're dealing with dealing with Thengel.
I see.
Very good. Well, thank you again for your hospitality and the use of your horses. They are excellent steeds.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing down that bandit. It takes a lot of work off of my men.
At least he had some honor at the last. He didn't have to fight the single combat, but he did, to his destruction.
And spared the life of his men and followers.
There may be a song followed by him. He might have died a martyr. That's something that I would not like to see.
No, some of the bandits did go off on their own, a small part, but
my men will be able to ride them down since they don't have the cunning leader anymore.
they do not.
Yep.
So
you take off and you travel on into the Western Met. And
do we need travel rolls?
I'm not gonna make you
really.
roll for this.
Okay.
It's all easy difficulty across free lands, so there's no need to roll for this.
And we did get our horses back, right?
You get your horses back, and they are in better shape than they've ever been.
And what's his face's horses? Our new friends. His horse got to at least rest for a while.
Mm-hmm. And they were cared for by master horse carriers.
Yeah.
And you ride on as I travel you by map over past Aldburg to Edoras. Let's see if I have any pictures for you of Edoras. There we go. Edoras map.
Oh, buddy.
I have I'm a little behind on having graphics up for you guys. So last week I made the mistake of hitting the delete button where I had accidentally selected all. So I deleted everything out of my Roll20 account.
Ugh.
Ouch. I'm just still seeing the same map, though.
Yep, that's because I'm just uploading the other map.
Gotcha.
Hey. Here we go.
Nice.
Idris.
So is Grimbold saying anything?
He is not saying anything. It's bringing up bad memories to him.
What?
In the shadow of Sawtooth Mount Iransaga, on a broad hill behind a high wall, stands Edris, the court of the king. The white waters of the Snowburn run swiftly at the foot of the walled hill, and a shallow ford crosses the stream where the Great West Road traverses it. Beyond the ford, a wide rutted track weaves past lines of great grassy mounds on either side. The barrows of kings, thick with white flowers, up to the gates where many spearmen stand guard. No mere footmen, these are warriors of the king's guard, the lord of the mark's most trusted soldiers. These gate wardens, they say, "What are your names? And what is your business?"
I am Thror, Prince of Erebor.
I am Lorith, daughter of Círdan, Ranger of the North.
I am Ella Brimborn of Thranduil's court.
And what is your business in Edoras?
We are here to meet with the king on behalf of our peoples.
What business is it of your people's? What our king is up to?
Have you heard of the rumblings from the south, from beyond Mordor?
We have.
That is why we are here.
They send the gate warriors send other warriors up to the Great Hall to tell the king of your arrival, and you are said. They are given directions and say this is near the base of the hill on which the royal house Medusa is built. So that is the Reeve's house, and the Reeve is the deals with the matters on behalf of the king when the king is indisposed. So please head there.
Very well.
Beyond the gates, a paved street rises, curving up the hill on flagstones and many well-laid steps. Houses line the path and narrow alleys lead off it. A clear stream sparkles and chatters down a stone channel along the way. And at the crown of the hill of Edoras gleams Medusa, the Golden Hall. Here the knights of the Rittermark come to pay tribute to the king and hear his commands. From the royal mead hall they ride out to man remote fastnesses in the mountains, to patrol the plains and to guard against incursions from the Gap of Rohan, or from the undeeps of the Induin, where Easterlings, orcs, and outlaws have crossed from time to time. In Medusa, gifts and honors are given, and here emissaries and visitors come to ask leave of the king to travel in his land. And you are taken to, you go to the Reeves house?
Can we take a little time out of the game for a second here?
Sure.
To not just I know we're supposed to be healing this rift, among other things. That's one of our goals.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have any kind of plan of action of this besides this crazy idea of Grimbold and me, because I don't see how that would work anyway.
So I was going to lean over to Ella Brimborn and ask him to maybe, if we run into a problem here at this Reeves, to write a message in Sandar and to deliver to the king. And hopefully that would invite us in for an audience with the king. But, we can talk about the challenges of getting our peoples together to work together towards, finding out what is going on in the borders south of here.
What we really need is a great affair between the daughter of one and the son of another.
Possible, but I think we have to have someone east and the west. Yeah, someone from the east and the west, so it may be, the son of the lieutenant and the daughter of the lieutenant. Something like that, the other lieutenant. So
yeah.
We'll have to find that out. I thought Grimbold would have the line of questioning here. Unfortunately, he's being
yeah. Perhaps there's another way, because
he's being a little silent. So maybe what we need to do is find out more about what the king needs to have happen for us to win his favor and meet with him or what have you.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll be tested in some way. That seems to be the normal thing to do.
And we will meet with the Reeve and meet with the king after we take a 10-minute break.
And, we have 120 treasure pieces too, so he might be interested in receiving that.
Although this guy likes character, not over treasure.
Yeah. Could be.
It is to be returned to him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to give...
to be returned to him. Yeah, I guess that's good. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we could just spend it in town instead if he doesn't want to meet with us.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'll throw a party and have a good time.
Right.
Just don't die in Celebrimborn and get tied up.
Right, exactly.
You're on the King's Court now. You got to elevate.
What happens in Aedoris stays in Aedoris. So.
And we'll see what happens in Aedoris right after this.
All right.
Alright. Where's Daddy? He's not here.
Mickey's gone.
Maybe he'll be back. Maybe he won't.
Maybe. Everybody here?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent.
Yep, I'm back.
Okay.
You never introduced us, by the way.
Thank you for tuning back in to Company of the Whiskey Drinking Bear, Threats from Mirkwood. Was made aware I forgot to introduce everybody. I am your lore master, Garrett. I can be found on Twitter at GarrettCrow1, 2 R's, 2 T's, Crow with an E. And next to me is Mary.
Hi, I'm Lorith, daughter of Círdan, the Ranger of Gondor.
Excellent. And Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike. You can find me on Twitter at Padme's Lover. I'm playing Ella Brimborn, who is the elf of Mirkwood, scholar and bard in the court of King Thengel.
Excellent. And George?
I am George, everyone, and I play a dwarf of Erebor, who is a prince and married to the daughter of King Dane.
And we not here today is Steve, who plays Grimbald, who is our writer of Rohan, who is the inspiration for us taking this detour in the campaign down here. So hopefully he'll be listening to this episode and getting caught up on the events in Rohan. Okay, so you arrive at the Reeves house. What do you do?
We enter.
Knock on the door.
Reavers.
I am the Reeve of Edoras, responsible to the king. Who is here?
I am Malcolm. Thor, Prince of Erebor, and with me
Two, please do the honors.
is Lorith, a ranger of I'm trying to remember the town you're from.
Just say the north is fine.
Ranger of the North. And we have Ella Brimborn, who is from the court of Thranduil.
And you have Thurber.
And Thurber, who is a person who is a wood
from the Wilderland.
From the Wilderland. And Grimbold, who not sure where Grimbold got off to.
He
is from Alberg.
Yes, he is from Alberg.
He's from Alberg.
And yes, we are here to see the king, if we could.
The king is quite busy. What business do you have with him?
Ella Brimborn, would you care to speak on our behalf?
Yes, Lord Thror, or Prince Thror. We are here as representative of our free people to talk to your lord about the bad tidings that are occurring in the lands, and we have been sent forward by our leaders as ambassadors to your king to discuss things. Would you please grant us audience with the king?
Well, perhaps he can speak for himself. And he opens the door, and King Thengel and his advisors step through. And while passing through, he stops and looks you up and down. What do you say to King Thengel?
My lord Thengel, we are here as representatives.
I elbow Ella Brimborn and I say, Sindar.
Oh, yes. I start speaking in Sindarin to him and speak to him with eloquently, flowery language of the elves. And say we are here as representatives of the free people from Mirkwood and the Enten Moots and from Erebor with news of friendship and but also of grave tidings that we need to discuss of our adventures and the shadow. but we come forth to represent friendship from our kingdoms to your kingdom, and we may unite against one common foe to bring greatness to all people.
Curious, he says, looking at you. You remind me of an adventuring group I knew in Gondor. Good men and women. And then he and his visors walk out the door.
Lord, may we have your time a little bit longer. We actually have something that belongs to you that we've recovered on our journey to here.
You can tell it to the Reeve. He will tell me what I need to know.
Well, I believe, do you not want to hear from our representatives about what we have found, or it is not of interest to you? You do not want to hear from the representatives from the different kingdoms?
That's why I have advisors that will funnel information to me as need be.
Do they understand Sindarin?
And he speaks to you in Sindarin and says, "Trust my people. Trust our ways."
Anything else, and you're probably failing your courtesy roll.
All right, we wish you, it was wonderful to meet you, my lord, and we wish you the best with whatever you are dealing with. I would like to discuss with you a problem that you have between your second and third lieutenant. When you do have the time, I can make myself available, as well as my companions, regarding this subject as well. I think it would benefit you to know, and I want to make sure that the word gets to you, since it involves your own people.
Speak with my do the job that my Reeve has available, and we will have lunch together, and we will talk.
Sounds wonderful. I will look forward to, my lord, and I bow.
Lunch. So he's talking tomorrow. Because we already had early dinner, right? So, so he's
well, he's not talking tonight.
Yeah, he's not talking tonight. That's what I'm saying. So, the Reeve.
The Reeve looks and says, "So what have you what job have you done that I need that requires my attention?"
Many things, sir. Firstly, we should discuss the source of the rumblings of the land. Are you aware of such rumblings?
I am not.
Tremors have happened in the earth, here and all abouts. That is because Mount Orodruin may be active again, because evil has come back to the Darkland. Not that it ever fully left, but it sits there building its power now, and drawing all evil of Middle-earth to it, and sending them out on forays. They seek to divide us all instead of unite us against the common enemy. They have many ways to divide us.
That is quite unfortunate. Fortunately, that is a bit beyond my pay grade onto here. I would definitely, I will have this as something that scheduled for you to speak with the king about.
And through her, perhaps you would tell him of the other matters. Starting with our treasure that we've recovered, right?
What treasure
Yes.
have you recovered?
We have recovered treasure from a fallen lord named Hool,
Hurl.
who was
Right.
Hurl.
who was who we encountered on our path here. The Lady Loreth defeated him in single combat nobly, and we were able to we're able to convert half of his followers or into noble people that are seeking a new future. One such individual is Thurber that is with us, and others have found a path towards good already. But he is one less concern or bandit or threat upon your kingdom.
Okay.
We are concerned. We are also concerned with the infighting that's occurring between your lieutenants, Aogar and Cedric, which we understand has been a long fighting over many generations. There's accusations of murder and horse stealing, and the most grievous crimes of flouting to each other across the rivers. That I think you are probably aware of, but we are wondering whether there is something we can do.
The Royal House is very much aware of this, and if you have solutions to these problems, would be glad to pass those on to the king.
Well, I think this common foe that is happening that the Lady Loreth discusses, because the Mordor is active again, and we have come upon the shadow in many forms, and we discuss the race and whites and werewolves and spiders and stuff and orcs that we have encountered in our travels, and that Saruman has closed himself in Orthanc, and is employed the services of the people of the Fen, the people with no king, to his aid, which the Dunedings are obviously ancestral enemies of you as well, and possibly
Yes, they
this
are.
would possibly we could reunite these two leaders in the cause against our common enemies.
I will discuss this with the king, and we will, if he has more wishes to discuss with you, you will be summoned for. The king has mentioned that he has a task that he would like you to do, and we are trying to put together as many adventuring parties as we can for this, as need be. But first, your treasure. Do you give him the treasure?
Yes.
Yeah.
He counts it out, divvies it up, and returns 30 treasure pieces for you to split up. Let's make it easy. Let's make it 40 so that everybody gets 10.
Okay.
Except Thurber.
Except Thurber.
But it's okay because he doesn't know that I'm going to give him the treasure that Matilda gave us as a stake in his nose. But I don't want to give it to him now yet. I want to observe him first and make sure that he's going to stay on a good path and not just drink it away.
This is more than generous, my Reeve. And what is this task that King Thengel wishes for us to pursue? How would he know that someone like us was coming and that he would need our aid?
He was hoping for responses of adventurers, and he pulls out a door and goes, "Ofer, you may come in now." And if my program works, there we go. This man walks in. And he eyes you up and down. And he says, "You are not from the Mark? What business do you have being here?"
King's business.
I have done 3 missions for the king, and he shows different medals that he has won for the king, from the king. He goes, "I have slayed many Dunlendings. I am what it means to be a great rider of Rohan. You are pathetic outsiders."
We have fought for several other kings, and I slew.
Then you should go back to those other kings.
I slew.
You are not wanted
in single
here.
combat 2 nights hence.
You are not wanted here. You should go back.
Well, Ofer, you are a great man of protecting your people versus your common foe. But if you truly were great, you would be looking for help or assistance against the common foe that we have, and not just look within yourself. Is there some kind of corrupt within you that you do not trust strangers or outsiders and do not wish their aid? Do you not wish to follow the orders of your king? Your king has asked us to aid him, so would you go against your king?
Let me tell you a story. Once I was a minstrel in the king's court, and I slew a man in the mead hall for stealing the song that I wrote. Now I sing only a song of battle. Disgraced at court, I roam the mark as a sellsword.
I turn to the reeve. What are we supposed to learn from this creature?
He is going to lead one group. A third person is going to lead another third group, and you will lead the first group. And he gathers you in and goes, "The winter has been hard, and the king's warriors are all committed to urgent matters in the east. Thengel King bids you unsworn warriors to take now his coin and one of these maps. They will lead the willing to the Westfold Vale, from where come tales of horses and kinslain. The loyal will discover the culprits of this horse murder, and right any wrongs they uncover in the name of Thengel King." And Ofer spits on the ground and goes, "Dunlendings, horse-eaters and kinslayers all. Too long has the king allowed them to breed in the western marches. Well do I understand this quest, and long have I wished for it. Certain it is to me that the culprits are the dark-haired and dirty dogs of Dunland. Let us ride to bring steel to the savages. A good day this." And the reeve hands out to each of you a small gold coin, struck with the symbol of a leaping horse. It is clear that any who take this coin are bound to the quest.
I turn to Ofer and I say, "How can you discover the truth when you've already decided what it is?"
Because I am a wise man. I have spent my time in court. I have studied the Rohirrim bardings. I understand what the problems are.
A bard is always looking for a more intricate theme instead of taking the simplest melody they can find. I don't think that you're as good a bard as you would say. I believe Celebrimborn would best you in any contest or song.
Thank you, Lorith.
Then, Celebrimborn, sing a song of the best song you have of horses, and let the crowd here decide who is the best. He is rolling.
All right.
He rolls a Gandalf.
All right, I'll have to roll mine straight on my dice.
Oh, I thought now's the time for you to do your flouting.
Oh, I could. All right, I'll do the flouting with him.
Do a great song of horses.
Well, this has horses in it. Look how the horse. What's that? Look how the horse. Yeah, this is well. I'm looking right at. I'm looking right at. Ophar when I'm doing this and referring to him. Look how the horse dances in the grass, teeth bared, tail wagging, leaping like an ass. Oh, why does he prance like he's bewitched? The stupid beast simply hasn't been hitched. Look how the nag is dragging his feet, head drooping, tail wagging, clenching his teeth. Oh, why is this beast such a sorry state? He's either proposed or he's married his mate. Look at his true love, a comely rider, name Ophir, stench like a pig and limbs like a gopher. Never have I spied a union so gruesome, lonely nights with Ophir and his horse, this gruesome twosome.
A red-haired woman with an eye patch walks in the door and applauds you as you complete your song.
All right, I got a 10, 2 Tengus. So we got 21. He got the Gandalf though, so it doesn't really matter. But
the Gandalf is an automatic failure. So.
Oh, for him. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I was thinking he was somehow in my league, but obviously he is not in my league. So I got a 29.
Yeah, you blew him out of the water, and he storms out of the Reeves Hall.
Well, I didn't want to be enemies with the guy, but he did it. So.
And he missed my whole point too. I mean, he totally missed my point. It went over his stupid head.
Right.
Hello, the woman says. I am Leora. I'll be leading my own group on this quest.
Good luck to you.
Good luck to you. May we all find who is eating these horses.
Yes, Leora. Pleased to meet you. I am Ella Brimborn.
She looks out the door at Ophir and eyes him warily, with a look of complete anger toward him in her eyes.
What is with Ophir? Why is he such a bittered person who does not love his people or king?
Make a persuade roll.
What's a difficulty? 14?
14.
I got a 12.
With a 12?
I don't know if I should use. Should I use a point to convince her, or we don't? Doesn't matter.
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
How many points do we have?
We have 2 points left.
All right, I guess I'll use it so that we go over and.
You push her over. You get her over the edge. She says, "It was my brother, the minstrel that Ophir slew in the mead hall, for stealing his song. I wish to get back. I have a quest of vengeance against him."
There are many feuds in this land.
Did your brother truly steal his song? Or do you not?
He heard the song, and he thought it was a good song, and so that he performed it himself. He didn't realize that it was a specially composed piece.
Uh-huh.
Well, with a name like Ophir, he really is nothing.
Ophir the Gopher. That's his
I should
nickname.
teach him the Stinky Squirrel song. That could be his MO.
Yes.
The Reeve brings out a number of sets of carved bones, cunningly linked together on rings of bronze. He assigns one set to each of you, for each company, instructing you on how to hold them up to align their shape with the peaks of the mountains, and thereby use holes drilled into them to navigate to the foothills of the White Mountains. Each bone map features different sets of marks, corresponding to the farmsteads that must be visited, investigated, and secured by each company. You have mounts, so you are good. And you are sent out on your way to travel to find out what's been eating these horses.
So these are Dunlading farms, or
These are Rohirrim farms.
Can I ask you
Okay.
a question? Since he mentioned the so there's an area where the Dunlandings are like settled, like the Saxons on the English shores and
Yeah,
stuff like
they're off to the west.
Okay, so they have an area where they're allowed to stay.
Yeah.
And
sometimes they come
there's
across back over
tensions.
the border.
Yeah. Okay.
But again, sometimes the Erric, the second marshal, leads his men across the border to sack and
Harass
burn
them.
their houses.
Yeah, not a good situation.
well, I tell Leora I am sorry for the loss of her brother. It song should bring joy and should not lead to battle and the death of each other.
I thank you for this, and I hope wish you well on your journey. That it is prosperous, and that you do not find a horrible fate.
Well, may we sing songs together when we rejoin, for we are all together as one people.
You would not wish me to sing. I have not sung since I was a little girl.
But if you're
I'm sure it would be wonderful to hear.
That was his.
If we should laugh and joy together over things that I wish that we should be together and laugh, enjoy at your singing.
And I shoot a dirty look to Ella Brimborn, a look that says, "Don't you have a lady at home?
I'm not trying to pick her up."
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Didn't I sing the song to you guys before? All my ex-huns live in Rohan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, now we know why.
Right. See? That's why I hang my quiver in Thranduil's, because I can't handle these women down there. Don't worry, I learned my lesson.
I'm not sure you did, but we'll see.
All the bone maps direct you to head northwest. So when it's time to leave, you see that Ulfr is taking it easy, drinking with his friends at Sapa's house, which is the major tavern in town. What do you do?
I go in and buy a round for him and his men and wish them good luck in their endeavors, and tell them that we need to go. That we wish we could.
You do not have Rohirrim horses. You need. You will be behind. My men all ride fine Rohirrim horses, so I see no reason to hurry.
Well, enjoy a round on me.
Thank you. Thank you, Elf.
You're very welcome, Ulfr.
See? The elf bought me drinks. Everybody should buy me drinks.
Oh, for the gopher. Oh, for the...
No. We don't want to start problems
no,
already.
I didn't even go in with you. We let you go in on your own.
We can say it as we go,
There, we might want to, have a beverage, which I could seriously use about now.
We don't want to. Oh, yeah. But do we want to go in there with them and start a problem? We would need to go on.
No, we need to go on.
I say, let's go ahead and get started.
The journey
Travel.
from Edris to the Westfold Vale allows you to follow the Great West Road for a time, speeding your journey. While no longer repaired as well as it was in times gone by, the ancient road still helps you greatly. Unfortunately, there is little cover from the elements out on the road, and eventually moving closer to the forested foothills becomes a necessity. Westfold is studded with small farming settlements, all across the plains stretching to the the western bent. Individual steadings line the foothills, with Helm's Deep itself resting along the western reaches of the northernmost spur of the White Mountains. The plains are mostly covered with snow now, though more and more areas of discolored winter grass are evident. As spring waxes, rich green grasses will soon appear, stretching out in all directions. It is 50 miles from Edoras to the first of the steadings assigned to you, which lie deep in the foothills of the mountains. The journey will take 2 days, while riding horses, requiring a single fatigue test. So make a travel test.
Can you do your little travel sing-song for us?
Yes, I do, and that will give you 2 extra 6-sideds on one roll. Do I need to roll a song roll?
Also.
Yes, you will.
Okay.
I will use my elven cloak.
All right.
2 extra 6.
My song roll was 15.
Yep.
Was that good enough to give everyone the 2 dice, or no?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Okay.
Troll.
Everybody just needs a TN12 on their travel roll.
I have a 34.
Yeah, I did that easy. Yeah. 23 with the tango and 28 with the tango.
28. No tangos.
I didn't even use
34 with a tango.
Alright, where's the map? Here it is, Farmstead map.
That's our travel test, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, do we get any extra?
Nope, you don't get any extra. You just don't
Okay.
get any fatigue.
Okay, that's fine. That's good.
The blanketing snow... Okay, I don't need to worry about that. I'm trying to put up the map, but it's not going up, so we'll just go on. Early one crisp, clear morning, you arrive at the first steading marked on your bone map. Without indications from the reeve, and being completely deserted, this settlement is sadly nameless. It is set up on a hill, partly surrounded by wind-blown trees. Snow lies heavy on the ground. Everything is eerily quiet. The chill bites hard, and the wind starts up a low moaning as you draw closer. This place has an unnerving, spooky feel. What should be a bustling farmstead stands still in a silent landscape drained of color.
And whose steading was this of? Was this who was supposed to be here?
You don't know who was supposed to be here. It's a farmsteading that you don't know who was here.
Okay.
Do we see, it's winter, do we see any smoke from any chimneys or anything like that?
You do not see any smoke from any chimneys.
No animals.
The map came up. Let me
no sounds.
finish getting that, and then I'll put that on the board.
Can we do awareness check?
Sure, you can make an awareness check. Here's the map.
Got a Gandalf. And another 7 plus the Gandalf.
Sure. Most steadings in Rohan are centered along a longhouse. These wooden rectangular buildings with thatched roofs provide a home for the homesteaders, as well as for their beloved horses, who sleep in stables well cared for, below a sleeping platform at one end of the building. A central hearth provides warmth and a place to cook. Smoke usually leaves through a hole in the center of the roof as well as through the thatch itself. This particular longhouse has suffered terrible damage. From a distance, it's clear there is no smoke coming from the smoke hole, and indeed the roof itself is slumped in at one end. Drawing closer, you see the end wall has collapsed outwards, its ancient gray timber strewn all about. It appears as if something pulled it out of the building, perhaps using a team of horses. Make a hunting or search roll.
I'll do hunting. I don't know what everybody else is going to do.
I'll do search.
Elbrimborn will do search. Elbrimborn get a 16 search.
Signs of what really
Uh,
happened.
Yep.
18 the Tengu.
Excellent.
11. 22 with a Tengu.
This was a difficult job for you guys because snow has fallen since, and there's a light covering over all the hard ground.
Mm-hmm.
But on the successful roll, you all find a thick iron ring, one of those that riders use to tie their horses to the wall. It has been wrested out of its socket with great force, and it's broken and twisted. Peering inside, the traditional sleeping platform has fallen down onto the stables. There is nothing unusual to be found here, though a thorough search through the snow may take an hour or more. There are no horses or people here, and no signs of a struggle beyond the collapsed building.
Is there any troll scat?
Nope.
Brimborn, you want to try and climb the tree nearby and see if you scout anything out?
Well, I can do that, but also can I use my power of the speakers and try to talk to the soil and the earth and divine a riddle as to what happened to these people by like looking at the earth and the stones and grass and stuff around this area in front of that area and find out where the people went and how long ago or something like that.
Horse Eater came. Horse Eater took the men. Horse Eater took the women and children. Horse Eater took the horses.
All right, I tell everybody that yes, the people of the Fell, the Dunlings took the horses and all the people from here.
Did they say the Dunlendings?
Nope.
Well, they said the horse eaters. The land around here is speaking to me and says that the horse eaters
Horse
took
Eater,
that.
singular.
Horse eater. Oh, okay.
What if it was something else?
It
That's
could
what I
be.
think.
It potentially could be a troll. So it probably wasn't one. I thought it was
don't know what it
plural.
would have been, but look at that twisted metal. That
You want to
doesn't
find a
speak of-
squirrel to talk to?
I don't know.
Okay, climb up a tree and look for a squirrel.
Sure.
Garrett?
You go up. Unfortunately, there are no animals around right now.
I'm going to lay my head down and do Rumor of the Earth to
Sure.
see what I hear, where the nearest life is, and what sounds I hear from far away. If I
Sure.
that way.
You
That's
detect
what I shall-
murmuring and extreme pain coming up toward where the next farmstead is.
When Ella Brimborn comes down, I tell them that. I think we should. I don't know how much more we can glean from here, but I feel that people might be in trouble. Perhaps the ones that we search, or perhaps the next stead is being attacked by the same whoever. If it is the Dunlendings, then so be it. But I don't know how they would have accomplished twisting that iron ring.
All right, then we should head forward to the next. Look at our bone map and look for the next farmstead.
There is still time before nightfall to head to the next steading marked on the next section of the bone map. A half hour's ride and another isolated steading is visible on a lonely rise ahead. In contrast to the empty and eerie silence of the previous farm, events begin to accelerate. Again, the longhouse has been partially demolished. This time there is less snow on the ruined building, and its timbers have only a light scattering of ice. As you approach, figures can be seen lying on the ground. The first one you come across is a woman who appears to have died from a grievous blow to the head. Drawing closer, a second body reveals itself to be a boy of perhaps 14 winters, clutching a broken spear shaft in his cold hands. He doesn't seem ready for battle, wearing a night shift. And at this point, a moaning sound is heard. Resting against a broken roof beam is a man of the mark who yet lives, also dressed for sleeping. His blood-soaked hands grip his belly, and there is red at his lips. A broken sword lies beside him in the snow, black blood on its snapped blade.
Ooh, that's not good. Yeah. Yeah, I think...
I have a 2 in healing.
I have 3. Do you want to try it, or should I?
As
You
move
probably
toward
should
him,
try
you
it.
spy great tracks in the trampled snow around the man. Huge footprints, splashes of blood, both red and black, and deep ruts through the snow and earth, as if something heavy was dragged away from the collapsed longhouse.
Okay. Why don't you heal this man, and then Thor and I will go and follow this trail, and then we'll come back and help whoever else we can. But we might be able to catch this. Do we need a hunting roll for this, or?
Yes, make a hunting roll.
Is that good? Is that a sound plan?
Yeah, I got a 14
That's
healing.
This man has lost too much blood to be saved.
I roll a hunting roll too. I got a 16.
what about
I
that
asked
one?
him- I ask him to briefly tell me what happened if he can, if he has the strength.
It came
And I
10.
from the Grimgalad, the cursed goalie. It came in the night. Silvermane and Hardhoof. He fought so hard, but who could stand against such a beast? 6 steadings, their horses devoured. I have failed them. I failed my kin. I could not protect mount nor hearth. What use am I? I will meet my ancestors in shame. His eyes roll up to the sky, and a pair of crows clatter noisily from a nearby tree. Then the man groans again and utters through gritted and bloody teeth, "A great wild-eyed beast from the mountain, an evil thing with a skin hard as iron neath its coat. Find it in the Grimgalad whence it has returned, and kill it. Make revenge where I have failed." And then he is gone.
Okay, so it's not even a troll, it's something else.
I close his eyelids like they do in the movie and cover him with a blanket.
Yep. You guys, Thror and Lorith, find great tracks leading away through the snow toward the jagged slopes of the White Mountains.
I'll use my mattock as we travel and mark the trail.
The tracks lead you up through the rising terrain into the gullies breaking the foothills of the White Mountains. Jagged rocks and sliding shale cover the hillsides under the partially melted snow. It's a slow going and dangerous, and you have to dismount and lead your horses on foot. While you have no idea what you're looking for, beyond following the beast's tracks, you know it when you see it. Between 2 huge basalt black boulders, which bear faint traces of ancient carvings, yawns the entrance to the Grimgalad. The tracks lead directly into it.
The Grimgalad?
The Grimgalad bears a very old name indeed. Who has the old lore trait?
I do.
You know this, are familiar with the tongue, and you're familiar with the tongue of the mark because of Grimbold. You could hazard a translation as the Fierce Pass, or perhaps the Dark Way. Grimbold has heard of childhood tales of places in the White Mountains like this, from whence come goblins and trolls and other terrifying eaters of horse flesh. Twisted, ancient rocks grow at strange angles from the splintered rock, crossing back and forth across the gaping gully. It resembles an uneven tunnel, 30 or 40 feet across, with the crossing evergreens serving as a roof of sorts. It appears to head straight into the mountains. Bones can be seen scattered about the gully mouth, some quite fresh-looking, and there are splashes of red on the snow. An ill wind wails from the entrance. Make an insight check for me, please.
Okay.
Everybody can.
Okay.
14.
There it is.
Got
You
it.
catch the sound of a whisper coming from down this path.
That's 16 and a Tengu.
Thror, you catch a whisper, but you hear the voice of an old man, melodious to the ear, but chanting dark imprecations to murder. The voice goes as quickly as it came, and the wind returns to its eerie wailing.
I get 16 too, so I guess the same thing as Elvenborn.
Make an awareness test for me, everybody.
Uh-oh.
Careless whisper of an old man. I just keep getting 14s. I got another 14.
I got a 20.
20. There is a campsite not far away from
18.
the entrance.
A campsite.
There is a campsite.
Okay.
Stealth to
What's that?
examine it.
Sure.
Do we need a stealth roll or?
You want all of us to go up, or you want to go by yourself?
Well, maybe one other person.
Maybe we should leave.
Here's what it looks like, the entrance to the Grimgalad.
Thurber with the horses, and we sneak up.
Yeah, I keep forgetting we have him with us. If he wanted to come with us, he might have wanted to stay and not go on this thing, but
Yeah, he's gonna want to get a job in town after this this little venture.
He is.
Yeah.
This could put him off adventuring for
I asked him, do you want to stay with the horses or come with us?
Wood cutting won't look
I
so
should
bad.
stay with the horses.
Ah, come on.
And does he have a weapon?
Yes. He has a axe and a spear.
Good. Those are good.
Defend Buttercup for me.
But if all else fails,
There is evidence of a party of 5 or 6 having been here within the last few days.
5 or 6. What?
You would guess that these were Dunlendings due to their lack of boot prints. Dunlending hunters wear footgear made of leather strips and linen in winter, frequently going barefoot during other seasons. There is no way to tell exactly where the Dunlending party came from.
Okay. But there's no sign of them, correct?
There is no sign of them.
Okay. Then let's proceed into the entrance.
Make a awareness test again for me.
Ooh.
13.
Eye of Sauron.
Thror, you walk right up to a Dunlending with who puts an arrow aimed right at your heart.
I got 14, 19.
You get a feeling you're being watched. Ella
I got
Brunborn, what did you get?
13.
13.
I
You
pull my
are a
sword.
little bit unaware.
I pull out my sword and I look all around, searching.
You see Thror acting suspiciously as he's standing near entrance to the Gilgalad, and he's standing very still.
Horse eaters. If you want me, come and get me.
A deep and sonorous voice rings out in a Dunland accent. We wish to speak with you, strawheads. We mean you no harm, but harm may soon befall us all. Let us parley.
So be it.
Very well.
Let me-
Come forth.
Where is he? Here he is. Uploading his picture.
Okay.
Yep.
I turn my palm up. I sheathe my sword and I walk to there.
At this point, it's worth remembering that you have been... yeah, okay. So you are in an encounter now. You see a man with a... who says, "Hello, my name is Imhar Farreach." He is a grizzled, hardy man with sharp gray eyes and a trim silver beard. Unlike the majority of his folk, he wears his hair short. He carries a bow, a worthy weapon, elaborately carved with images of beasts.
That's a fine bow you bear.
Thank you very much.
It must have a great history.
It has been handed down from the great warriors of my tribe. You are seeking answers, so the tolerance is equal to the highest valor among the company. Who has the highest valor?
It's a 5.
4. I think we
4.
established before it was 4.
5, so it's 5, and it's because you are in a desperate situation and they want to work with you badly. You get +2 to this.
+2 to what?
Your tolerance.
Oh,
7. Yeah. If we got to fail 7 times.
okay.
Failing 7 times would be really bad. Who wants to introduce yourselves to this gentleman?
I can.
You're a prince, after all.
Imhar, I am Thror, Prince of Erebor, and with me is Lorith, a Ranger of the North, and Ella Brimborn from the court of King Thengel. And we have, by no means, no less, a new person among us, watching our horses in the back. I keep it Thurber, a woodsman. So tell us, what do you wish to speak to us about?
Make an R roll, please.
I drop the lid of my helm. And that is it's only a 14.
14 is what you need. You got a success.
All right.
I should shut that back door.
He goes, "Thror, it is good to meet you. I am Imhar Farreach, a hunter of the Dunlandings."
Very good. Thank you for not attacking me. I was an easy target.
Yes, you
But-
were.
It looked like your camp had been scattered as the villages that we have recently passed through.
Nope, we simply saw you coming and prepared to take you unawares in case you would attack us.
Was that your humming that I heard?
No, there is evil magic that comes from this place.
That would make sense, for it is great evil that has destroyed these homesteads nearby. Are you aware of what's going on?
I am very much aware of this. We hunt a creature that has slain many of our people. What little tracks it has left led us here.
Can you tell us what it is?
It
The
is
ghillie?
a terrible creature. It hunts by night when the moon is covered, so I cannot say for certain what it is. But it is a graced beast, hungering for the flesh of our beasts.
How high does it stand?
About 9 feet tall.
On all fours, or does it stand like a man?
It stands on its hind legs, but it can go scoop down onto its forelegs and move faster.
Does it have wings, a tail, teeth, armor, or fur? We've heard from a dying homesteader that it had skin like iron beneath its coat.
That sounds like what we have heard from our people that have tried to stand against it.
Do you refer to it as the ghillie, or do you have stories or rumors of the ghillie?
We do not have stories of a ghillie, no.
Almost
It's just
sounds like
a word
some
that
kind
I
of-
had heard.
So you believe it's in this lair here?
Yes, we will find where it lays down to sleep and kill it with fire.
Good.
There may be people or animals yet to save, though. If we could save them before they perish and the creature's maw.
May we join forces with you to defeat this beast.
My people do not trust you. They do not trust other outsiders. They come from their lands and burn our villages and take our women and children.
We are not of the Rohan, but are handling this for the king. But as a pledge of good faith, I tell you that one of the other sellswords, another adventuring part. There are more adventuring parties. One is led by an honorable person. The other is led by someone who already believes that it is the Dunlendings alone that are responsible for this, and thinks that the Dunlendings are the ones who are eating horses. I tell you this so you know and can be on guard, but also hopefully we can.
I prefer
we can
lamb or
bring him
goat.
So I thought, who that values swift travel would want to eat the beasts of the Rohan. But
Goats are pretty fast too, though. They're pretty short, right?
yeah, but they're
Right,
not
Thor?
exactly easy for
They
I
are
give
fast
Thor- I
and
give
they can
Thor-
fly.
Yeah, I give
They are-
Thor an elbow.
Making
They
a
are
persuasion
fast
roll.
and they can.
and when we will endeavor to make clear that his bigotry is just that. But I tell you so you can be on guard against him. His name is Ophir. I can't pledge for the character of the people he leads. Perhaps they're better than him. Let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15 with a tango.
Then why do you lead them to me?
We do not. They
You
do not
wish
travel
to
with
us
us.
to cause us harm?
No. We left them. For all we know, they have not even reached their first mark yet. We left them drinking in a tavern, and Ella Brimborn bought them yet more drinks. They think they know who their prey is that is causing this problem, and so they're not even serious in their efforts as of yet.
What is a tavern?
Drinking establishment.
A place where you can purchase alcohol made by others. Refreshment.
You have your ale that no one lives in.
A place for drinking not within your own home?
Yes. Such are scattered throughout the land on the by the roads, so that weary travelers can come, and sometimes they have food, and sometimes they have also soft beds that travelers can rent for the evening to
Sounds
rest.
like your people are soft.
A
Imhar,
person that must travel for many months.
can you not tell that we are people from different tribes? We come from the mountains, we come from the misty woods, we come from the far north. We are from different places. We are not your common travelers. We have come here to help those who have been slaughtered in their homes. We've come here to slay the beast. If you are with us, then stand with us. If not, get out of our way, for we must proceed before this beast comes out and slays more.
Make an Aro.
Nice speech.
Yeah.
It was good.
That's pretty good. 2
That
Tengus.
was your Henry V moment.
24 with 2 Tengus.
Man, you guys are just rolling off the charts tonight.
Well, I almost blew one of my big rolls.
I started
looks at
it.
you and says, "What do you know of this cursed valley?"
We know not of the cursed valley. We've only tracked the beast here, as have you. So if you'd like to join us, and we would be glad to have you with us, we are ready to proceed. If your men need some type of proof that we are not like the others, then we can offer you treasure if that's what you need, but I do not believe that is what your people would require. You seem like honorable folk. You seem like folk that would want to save those that are in need. So join us.
Make a persuasion
We're happy to
roll.
have. Okay.
Feel free to use a point of party hope.
There's one more left.
I might need that to replenish the one I already used.
That's...
Oh, I'll try. We have a little bit here. Oh, maybe closer. Well, maybe I will use that party hope. 11 and 5. Give me exactly 16.
Excellent. The wind carries evil voices from there, and dark dreams. It is a blighted place. And in a softer voice he says, "Many of my men are frightened to go down that path. If I were a lesser man, I would too."
Not everyone has a strength of will for the same measure. We all do as best we can. We've seen many a horror and lived through it, but you never know which one will be the one to take you.
Make an insight check.
Okay. And 8 with 2 Tengus. So 20 with 2 Tengus.
Excellent. You're getting a good sense of what he values and how to speak on his own terms. Ella Brimbor, what were you going to say?
Yeah. He speaks the rhyme of lore of the lurker, which we had killed to try to give them some simple poetry about something we've slayed already, so they to try to let us be with him. So,
make a song roll.
To enter Gundabad Valley, you must be brave, for a misshapen colossal crab inhabits a cave, hiding its vulnerable high body for years and years. Its massive legs are akin to trolls' bladed spears. Its eyes, like pearls of your impending doom, are like twin moons shining upon your tomb, and its piping birthed out of its foul breath is the song of shadow, the song of your death. And this is a creature we had defeated. Creature so great. May we all be in one of the rhymes of lore for the future as we slay this creature together. Well, in classic Elabrimborn style, a 15.
good enough.
Where's Mary?
You have 6 successes. You need 1 more to put yourself over the edge.
Come, let us meet your men.
The men are beginning, as you are talking, you're saying your rhyme of lore. The men are gathering around and beginning to be riled up by this. Because they're really getting into it. Nimhar looks at you and says, "You know how to motivate men. You must be a great leader from where you come."
So I snatch up various materials near me, and I use my fire-making skills, light torches for them. Take these, men. They will light your way. They will vanquish the darkness before us. We shall slay this beast.
Okay.
Come forth. Let's go.
You use your fire-making skill as an automatic success. Imhar and his folk are genuinely impressed by you. The Far Reach offers to track the creature and states that if you will it, they will all stand together against it. The Dunderlings are friendly on the road to any of you that have not directly insulted them. In addition, should Imhar survive the events of this adventure, he offers to travel to Medusa to speak with Thengel King regarding all that's occurred. All members of the company will gain an experience point during the epilogue for this.
Well, first we have to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
But probably not tonight, huh?
So once you have finished speaking,
Okay.
the sun is on the wane, and it is high time to enter the Grimglad and confront the beast.
Elabrimborn says to everybody, "Down the Grimglad with winds at our backs, in the days of winter as dry twigs crack, rushing forth to defeat our foe. We are filled with vengeance to strike the final blow."
And does that give us a battle benefit? It's a battle kind of... It's a battle.
Battle
it's
cry.
basically a battle cry.
It's a battle cry. If you had lost endurance, it would, but you haven't lost any
Okay.
endurance, so...
But it riles us
So
up.
it riles you.
It might help them.
And
Yeah.
we mentioned too that it's be alert to any homesteaders or horse victims, any victims that may still be breathing. For if there are any we can save, we should save them first.
For they may even be your own people or your kin.
Okay. The dimming light of late afternoon is almost entirely extinguished once you pass into the blighted Grimglad. There is a sense here of deep and ancient malignancy. The air is thick with smell of musty pine sap and sour sweating stones. Everybody that must make a corruption test.
Is that the new Dior pour homme?
Yes.
A what test?
Corruption test. Like a
Valor roll.
No, that's a fear test. This is a wisdom one.
Okay.
So strength of will won't help.
No.
Wisdom.
What's the target number?
TN 14.
So
33.
rolling.
Wisdom.
So that in that many boxes?
Yep.
Wow, that's nice.
I got a 33.
Plus 5 dice. Plus
The
a...
30.
33.
33. No shadow point for you.
1 Tengu.
Oh,
Bunch
come
of
on.
5s.
Come the frig on! Come on! Damn! I didn't get anything above a 4. So 8, 10, 15.
You made it.
Oh!
Roar, what did you get?
I'm sorry, 26 and a Tengu.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. No snow reaches the bottom of the gully, but the floor is thickly carpeted with pine needles. Strewn throughout these are yet more bones. Some are so old that they crumble at a touch. Others so fresh that they still show traces of fat and marrow, but also great tooth marks and the scraping of great claws. A deep trough has been dragged through the thick carpet of pine needles, showing the way forward through the increasingly oppressive gloom.
I want to make a hunting roll to assess, if that's the right roll to make, to assess look at these claw marks and tooth marks so I can gauge the size of those things a little bit.
Sure.
So for 10... and a Tengu. Okay, so 18 with the Tengu.
Yep. You're looking at about a 9-foot tall troll.
Troll?
Mm-hmm.
It's a troll?
It looks like a troll.
It looks like a troll. Okay.
A greater snow troll.
I relay my findings. I mean, we don't know that it's a snow troll, particularly, right?
Yep.
Or would I...
Well, it's coming from the mountains, so...
Yeah.
The wind howls and whispers ever louder, the further you press on. After heading steadily downward toward the roots of the mountain, the gully begins to twist. Light begins to make its presence known again, as the trees overhead become a tango of mean boughs. Eventually, the passageway you are following opens out into a wider, almost circular opening, surrounded by jagged cliffs that cast unsettling shadows across the scene. The darkening sky is visible overhead, and gray clouds ripe with snow glower down into this natural theater. More bones can be seen strewn amongst the rocks here, and in the center there is the red-stained carcass of a chestnut horse. Squatting over it is a huge snow-white troll, its head buried inside the rib cage of the slain animal. I have a picture of Horse Eater here. Let me put that on the screen for you.
Hopefully we got a lot of archers with us.
Yeah, it's going to take a second to upload, so we'll just let it go. Mm-hmm. Above the sounds of what must be its terrible jaws tearing meat, the wind has reached a high-pitched whine. Everyone now hears the voice of the Grimglad speaking... There it is.
Ooh. That
It's
is
a little
one ugly
cage
mother.
Hey, yeah.
Pitched whine. Everyone now hears the voice of the Grimglad speaking hideous words on the wind, cursing. The voice drips with honey, and yet arouses murderous passions, threatening and cajoling. The Horse Eater is a snow troll of prodigious size, with a blunt snout, stained red with blood. It looks up from its feasting. Tiny blue-rimmed eyes spark a glowing red gold in the gloom. The creature sniffs the air with a deep growl, then stands still, its misshapen head tilted, as if listening to the voice in the wind. And shaken by the troll's appearance and strange behavior, the Dundlings and you prepare for the fight, when suddenly there is a scornful laugh from behind the company. Well done, comrades! You have tracked the Dunlending beasts to their lair, and barely a step ahead of me. You must be very proud to have beaten Ulfr to his prize. But join us now, and let us slay these dirty-haired savages and their monster together. Revenge for the Arrowlings! He and his men draw their swords, and Ulfr spits toward Imhar with a hiss. He clearly intends to slaughter the Dunlendings along with the monster troll. The troll is crouching amongst the bones, eyeing the intruders, but continuing to remain still. The wind howls louder, and you need to decide what you're going to do.
Celebrimborn, use your lights.
Okay.
On Ulfr's troops.
Yeah, I will.
Take care of the snow troll.
Okay.
What's the lights do again?
if he does like the elf lights, they're basically mesmerized by it and kind of have to, like just kind of stand still and kind of stare at it, almost like a moth. They can use a point of hate to avoid it.
Don't forget to tell our troops to look away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you just tell us, lights, my lights, we'll know and we'll
Right.
help them.
Let me look it up further and see if there's any more information than that for you. I'm just doing that from recall from memory, but let me look.
When Ofer made his appearance, the wind was slowly dropping, until the wind is now entirely silent. And without any warning, the troll lunges forward with surprising quickness and seizes Ofer. It delivers him a terrible bite across the neck and shoulders, the great jagged maw clamping fast and tearing away his life. Then the creature turns back, running towards the far side of the hollow, still holding its prey, and disappears into a shadowed cave opening.
Oh. Wow.
And no way to react and stop him from getting to over.
Nope, that's a guarantee of what happens. Dismayed, Ofer's men lower their weapons, their lust for battle completely snuffed out by the gruesome end of their leader. Eyeing the beweaponed Dunlendings, they hastily retreat and leave the Grimgalad in shame.
And we can't change that either. We can't speak to them.
You can try.
When they put down their weapons, when they lower their weapons, I say, your leader had it wrong. These Dunlendings neither eat horses nor cause the problem. This is not their creature. This creature has done damage to them too. They were working with us, and you could too. And we can take down this beast, and I'll profit by it, and I'll remove its reign of fear from this land.
Make a inspire roll.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay. Why do I always roll a 4 on this die? Bloody feet die. Oh, this isn't gonna go well. Okay, that's not so bad. 15.
15?
Yeah. No tangers, though.
You get, with a 15, 2 men to stay back out of the troop of 6 to stay and fight with you.
Yeah, well, even if, my goal isn't necessarily to get them to fight with us, but to get them to drop that bigotry. But if, doesn't mean that they won't have seen what happened and let it inform their future actions. So if we get 2 of them with us, so much the better.
And I'll shout at the Dunlings to do not leave your Imar in such a fate. Take hold of your hearts and follow suit. We shall destroy this snow troll. Forget about those that would stop us. We must destroy the snow troll before your other family and friends are slaughtered. Follow suit. Take heart. Rise up. And follow.
Inspire?
We'll call this an awe roll.
Yeah, he does
Okay.
have that whole Prince of Erebor thing going for him, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Whereas I'm only a cousin to the once and future king.
Right.
18 and 9 is a 22 with a Tengu.
The Dunlending, there's 3 of them, and they will remain with you.
Very good.
And And when we return next month, you will confront the horse eater Snow Troll and lead your company into battle.
Wow.
Good.
You had to be a little impressed that I thought it might be a troll early on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was a good. I thought it was a bunch of people.
I thought it might be a dragon. Well, I thought it was people at first, but when we saw the damage of that iron, I was like, no, this is a creature.
What is this? What is this mountainous region called?
Grimglad, Grimgelad.
So that's just the name of the mountain area too, right?
That's
as
the
well.
name of the valley. You're in the White Mountains.
Okay, White Mountain. Okay.
So
thank you everybody for tuning in to Threats from Mirkwood. And next month we will have a battle with a greater snow troll.
And do we know what time we're doing it? What day?
This will be on, pull up the calendar, July 4th. So I don't think that's going to be it. So I think that's going to be July 11th.
All right. Very good.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Threats from Mirkwood, and have a safe and wonderful fantasy-filled summer.
Bye.
Philip Brimborn says goodbye.